Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another one of our video sessions here at Level Financial Advisors. In a moment, I'm going to be joined with my colleague, Mike Angelucci, CFP MBA. And today, we're going to be talking about something that's a little strange and new. So I'm going to bring Mike on in here. Mike, today's topic, what the heck is an NFT?
And great question. An NFT is a non-fungible token.
Okay, great. Now that everybody's 100% confused, and it sounds like something that would happen to your foot that you got to go see a doctor about, what is a non-fungible token?
Great question. There's no reason to go see a foot doctor,
Okay,
but
good.
a non-fungible token. Well, let me step back and talk about what is fungible. Something that is fungible is easily interchangeable. A dollar bill can be interchanged with another dollar bill, or 5 $1 bills for a $5 bill, and so forth.
Okay.
That's fungibility.
Or if you're like my kids, a $20 bill for like 5 ones.
No, that would be non-fungible.
Non-fungible. Okay, gotcha.
Something that is or that would be that you got cheated.
Okay.
Non-fungibility is something that is not easily interchanged. Artwork isn't easily traded for other artwork. A 1-carat diamond isn't easily exchanged for another 1-carat diamond because they have different types of clarity and color and so forth.
Okay.
So something that's non-fungible is unique and not easily interchanged with something else.
Okay. So non-fungible tokens, NFTs, there's a lot of buzz out there
Right.
in the markets. What's going on there with these? What's happening out there?
So I think with this, we're going to have to go back a little bit and explain the blockchain, because that's critical here.
So this is part of the blockchain.
This is part of the blockchain.
Which is obviously huge when it comes to Bitcoin and everything else.
Exactly.
So, okay, do your best.
Yeah, I will in a couple minutes.
It's a hard thing to explain. I've had a lot of people try to explain it to me, and I still think I feel like I'm in the Matrix every time I see it. Tell me a little bit about the blockchain.
Yep. Get ready, buckle in.
Right,
in 2 minutes, you'll learn everything you need to know.
Good.
Maybe 3 minutes.
All
So, first, a non-fungible token is a digital asset that resides on the blockchain. So now, what is the blockchain? The blockchain was created by a person or a group of persons known as Satoshi Nakamoto back in 2008, I believe. He will just refer to Satoshi as he published the Bitcoin white paper, which was basically a system for decentralized cash transactions. So people could move money around without a central authority controlling it or a middleman controlling it. And the way Bitcoin works is it works off of something called the blockchain.
Right.
And the blockchain is this ledger that sits on thousands of computers around the world.
So it's a digital
ledger, digital database. So when one transaction, let's say I transact something with you, it resides on, let's say there's 1,000 computers in the world that hold this database.
Mm-hmm.
That transaction sits on the blockchain, before I say blockchain, sits on these computers.
Okay.
And it resides there, and it's permanent, and it cannot be altered. So what happens with blockchain is, on an ongoing basis, people are transacting, and these thousands of computers around the world are validating the transaction, and once they all agree.
So highly secure.
Highly secure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's every 10 minutes they agree to all the transactions, and they're doing this with supercomputers and moving, and the computing power that can move very fast. So once they all agree that all the transactions that took place are legitimate, they lock them down. They can never be altered.
Right.
So think of that as a link in a chain. That so you've got all these links. That's the blockchain.
Right. The minute you remove one link, you have basically 2 chains. So in order to keep one blockchain in place, you have to have all the links.
Right. You can never change and you can never alter those links.
And you can't move the links around.
Can't
you can't
move them
one
around.
to the top and one to the bottom. You can't make it shorter. Can't make it longer.
Well, it'll be longer. It'll keep growing over time. Every 10 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
So you keep adding links.
Every 10 minutes, a new link is added because all the transactions that go on are being validated by all these miners. The miners are the people that own the computers that are looking at these transactions.
Miners,
and
not
children, guys that
not little kids.
No, not little kids, not people that go in the coal mine.
Taking money from
right.
me. That's
a whole different thing.
Okay, different type
exactly.
Of right.
No, these are miners that are running computers.
I gotcha.
So one would say, why would they do this? Well, the reason why they're doing it is once they all agreed, they are then in a race to solve a mathematical puzzle. and the first one that solves it gets rewarded in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Thus, there's a market created for Bitcoin.
Okay.
But when we go back to NFT, and I'm going to kind of leave it at that for now.
Okay, yeah, because I know it's a pretty complex topic.
It gets into cryptology. I mean, I've started digging into this and reading it, and I've told people.
Sounds like another video someday. Mike.
Oh, yeah, that's I don't think anybody will watch that one.
Yeah,
right. So you have this decentralized ledger, and the blockchain, the original Bitcoin blockchain, only allowed for cash transactions.
Okay.
And once it got created, it was transactions. Really, I shouldn't say cash. Bitcoin transactions. You use cash to buy bitcoins, and then you can buy something with it.
You can use the bitcoins to buy something else on the blockchain.
Exactly.
Okay.
So getting back to NFTs, now that this blockchain technology was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto, other people started duplicating and creating other blockchains.
Okay.
The Ethereum blockchain, when they created that, they wrote into the code the ability to do what are called smart contracts, to put what they call also metadata into the blockchain that would be locked down permanently. So what somebody then did was say, well, in here we could link ownership to digital assets in the blockchain. So let's say I wanted to own a piece of digital artwork, or a clip from an NBA highlight reel.
Like a video.
Like a little
digital video.
Digital video.
Okay.
They're calling, and there's also like little digital collector's cards for basketball and so forth. So in the Ethereum blockchain, they wrote code, they call it a hash, that identifies you, let's say it's you, Mike Hebern, own this NBA highlight, and you are tagged in this, your name's in there. And
it's mine forever.
It's yours forever.
Unless I transact it with
You can transact it with somebody, right. So, and then in order to buy this highlight, you have to buy it with Ethereum, which is another cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Ethereum.
Starts with an E.
Starts with an E, yep.
Ethereum, all right.
So that's the excitement around, that's kind of how NFTs work, and that's kind of the genesis of non-fungible tokens. There are these hashtags, well, they're calling them hashes. I shouldn't say hashtags. Hashes that are basically addresses that reside on the blockchain that says Mike Hebern owns this piece of artwork, this basketball clip.
He owns a picture of the Mona Lisa.
He actually owns the Mona.
Okay.
Well, you could
own the Mona Lisa with this technology.
Not yet. No? Nope. That's a great question. It pertains to digital assets only.
Okay.
So digital assets.
So a picture of the Mona Lisa.
Picture of the Mona Lisa you might want to own.
If I took a picture of the Mona Lisa,
you could own it as an NFT.
On the Ethereum blockchain.
Right.
Okay.
And you're also going to, people may start hearing about, there's other blockchains, I think, that are trying to improve on the Ethereum blockchain as far as ownership of items. The key thing is that people need to understand, I think, is that, again, this is an address on the blockchain that points to a web server someplace that actually holds this original digital artwork or video or whatever.
Right.
So that's a key to understand, because it's not really residing on the blockchain. That website, that server where whatever you own,
it's somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Right.
And 10 years from now, will it still be there? That's the question. So there's some, I guess you would call them nuances to this that are not 100% safe.
So why then has this become so popular with sports people, for example?
There's two things going on here. One is this whole collectibles market. There's always been collectible market, right? I mean, baseball cards, Beanie Babies. People just want to own something, and something that's rare.
See, now if we had blockchain when I was younger, then my mother wouldn't have been able to throw away all my baseball cards.
Exactly. It would be on the blockchain forever. You'd have that ownership.
I was a little bit before the blockchain at that age in my life, so
just a few years.
Right.
So, but I think that's, but that's like, so you have these people buying these new NFTs. They're early adopters. They want to get in. I've heard some people that are experts in this area say, yeah, we might be having a little bit of run up just because it's the initial craze on this new technology. But I think
this is what's driving the prices then, right? Because the prices out there are crazy for this type of technology, right? I mean,
and the fascinating thing is you could own a piece of digital artwork. Again, always digital artwork, something that's digital, and artists are starting to sell their own digital artwork on the blockchain, on the Ethereum blockchain. And one, it's good for them because it bypasses middlemen. They can just put it right there to their followers and somebody can buy it. But the thing is, once you buy it, you own this NFT that gives you ownership. You have no rights to copyright it. You can't reproduce it and make money off of it. You may be able to sell your NFT at a future date and make money out of it.
You're not going to sell copies of your NFT.
You can't.
There are no copies if it's on the blockchain.
Yeah, but it's interesting. You could own this digital piece of art that could be reproduced millions of times. Now, I just heard somebody talking about this. They use like Andy Warhol as an example. The more and more the Campbell soup cans got reproduced, the more and more valuable the original came. So you're always going to have that kind of desire for original artwork. But there's a bigger thing going on here with these NFTs, and this is what some people are referring to as decentralized finance.
Right.
In other words, a developer may need money to build an apartment complex or a suburban plaza or something like that, and they could fund the initial cost of the project through NFTs. So you could own 1/1000th of an apartment complex down on the lake that you think is going to be successful, and then as that grows in value, you could sell that and so forth. And that bypasses banks. That bypasses a lot of legal structures.
It's almost crowdsourcing for development.
No, that's that's absolutely what this is. Yeah. They're talking about, and again, this is all in the infant stages, but that's why the excitement is you could crowdsource your own mortgage possibly. Right. You could bypass the bank.
You could crowdsource just about anything if it has value.
Absolutely.
Right? And so what's interesting about this is, to me, would be that the banks for years, obviously, have created their own value by brokering these deals and providing access. And what this technically is doing eventually is going to eliminate them from that process.
Absolutely.
Because they're not going to be valued. The value is in the actual funds.
Right.
And the funds can come from anywhere.
Right.
If you have secure technology. And I mean, we're a long way away from that.
But it's a good point. I mean, we've seen how fintech, financial technology has affected our industry. Yeah. It's affecting banking, and this is just the next.
This is the next big thing.
Step. Yeah.
So that I wanted to touch on this in my notes here. I have NFTs and Web 3.0.
Okay. Right.
And in our pre-meeting notes here, Web 3.0. What are we talking about with Web 3.0?
Great, another great question. So what the people that are looking at this are saying is that we had iterations of the internet. Web 1.0 was, remember, initially looking up things on websites, maybe downloading music illegally.
Who would ever do that?
Nobody ever did that. I never used Netscape.
I never heard of Napster.
Napster. I said Napster. Exactly, right? Never. But that was right. That was Web 1.0. And then Web 2.0, I should say, was with the advent of the iPhone and applications that allowed you to transact much more easily. Think about without the iPhone, you don't have Uber, right? Airbnb,
Grubhub.
All those things. They started getting designed for that computer in your pocket. That was Web 2.0. And now Web 3.0, people are saying that everything that can be digitized will be put on a blockchain of some sort. Whether it probably won't be the Bitcoin blockchain, but that's why you're seeing a lot of these cryptocurrencies out there. I mean, there's hundreds of them, and they're all the rewards for the operations of different blockchains. And some of these these blockchains are trying to create more efficient ways of building in smart contracts, building faster ways to transact.
So it's just like any other industrial revolution. You know, when the first cars were made, right? So Henry Ford's making his car, and then suddenly now you've got other car manufacturers, and now you got, and you flash forward to today, you've got all sorts of different versions of cars, and now we're making electric cars. And so you would foresee in the future that this cryptocurrency technology and the blockchain is just going to iterate into all sorts of different things. I mean, eventually there'll be some standards, I'm sure, for how it all works. So that's to me, that's the fascinating part. Is this is the beginning to me of a complete revolution in the way things are done.
Absolutely.
Down the line. So I guess to put a bow on all of this, let's talk a little bit about what it might mean for our clients. We get a lot of questions about it, right? This is why we're on this video right now, is because we're starting to see a lot of questions about NFT, blockchain, things like that. So what do our clients really need to know about this right now? Do they have to change their investing? Should they my brother-in-law is like, should I be investing in blockchain? I'm like, whoa. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. Talk to Mike Angelucci. He'll tell you exactly what to do.
Exactly right.
But what should our clients be doing?
And that's the question of the moment. And really with that is, as you know, I mean, our main function is to manage clients' retirement assets, to make sure that they optimize their retirement, get the most out of that money they've saved all their life. We really don't do fundamental research on emerging technologies. That being said, this is an emerging technology, and anything you do right now is going to be speculative. I've talked to clients about this is analogous to the beginning of automobiles, airplanes, I should say, in the airline industry, and the internet. And there were a lot of companies that started out fast that went away, and people with better technology. I mean,
Prodigy, remember Prodigy? I think Prodigy was an internet provider, right?
Yeah.
Net Zero, remember Net Zero? Your free internet.
Yep. And I mean, you think about Beta and VHS. I mean, right? Beta was a better technology than VHS. I can't remember what the reasons were, but people just adopted that more. So there's going to be a lot of players that use this blockchain technology, NFTs, for some sort of purpose, and who those players will be, we don't know. My advice to people is do your homework, read as much as you can, listen to as many podcasts. The Patrick O'Shaughnessy podcast, he's been bringing on people, experts in the field, where they try to explain.
We'll put up afterwards, we'll put up on the screen maybe a link to that
some
podcast
links,
so people can see.
He's trying to do a whole series of new podcasts that attempt to get you from 0 to 70 on a scale of 100 of knowing what's going on, is I think how he phrased it. So because it's hard to get your arms around this. Scott Galloway, the NYU professor, who's an expert in internet companies, he wrote a book called The Four on Amazon, Facebook, Google, and I'm forgetting the fourth. But he himself said, hey, I'm 55 years old. I'm trying to get my head around this, and I can't. So this is not easy stuff. Do your homework. If you're going to dabble in it, diversify, because
like
you
anything
don't know,
else, like
anything
any
else.
other type of speculative, because nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen. We would make the argument, our advisors would make that by the time somebody figures out what's actually going to happen, the market has already adjusted and built that price in.
Right.
That's obviously the way we invest for our clients. So, all right, well, good. I think good conversation here today. So I'm going to wrap up today by thanking everybody, thanking Mike, thanking everybody for joining us on this video, and we're hoping to put out more content like this in the future. In the meantime, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit us on the web at levelfa.com. Until next time, this is Mike Hebern with Mike Angelucci, and have a great day.
Thanks.